Hi guys, I want to introduce you to our beautiful Arctic Blaze. This is a BBL and diode combination machine. It is one of our top selling machines. I've got one at my clinic and it has made its return back again and again and again. So I want to show you why. It is such a beautiful and effortless machine for you to invest in. So I'm going to be turning it on so you guys can have a look. So basically it is a diode and BBL machine as mentioned. The diode is a very easy user phase. So firstly, four-wavelength, which is why it works on all Fitzpatrick skin types and all hair colors. Because of the 940 wavelength, it's got the ability to basically damage the capillaries feeding the hair follicle. And that's why we can win sometimes even when the hair lacks color, to draw that laser into the hair follicle and destroying the papillae. So basically, this will be explained in detail, but just to give you some clarity on this machine and why it works so well. Obviously, your biggest, easiest, most successful clients are going to be those with dark hair, but you are still able to treat with a good amount of success your lighter hair. The machine is very smart. When you input a certain area and a certain skin color, and you can even input the color of the hair and the area that you're going to work on, the density of the hair, how much hair, how thick or how thin the hair is. All of this information is just going to be based on your observation in front of you. It will throw out the exact perfect parameters and usage of wavelengths. For example, if I'm working on someone's cheek area and working on like peach fuzz, very fine hair, it's immediately going to say, ooh, it's my 755 Alexandrite wavelength that needs to be utilized the most. And when I'm working on a dark Fitzpatrick skin type, maybe a bikini area, it's going to say, ooh, I got to use more of my Nd:YAG. So the machine has the ability to make these bigger decisions for you, ensuring safety and ensuring results. So I love my diode because of that. Also, when I click on the hair density, it adjusts my shot count, which I love as well. I mean, I tell new students, you don't have to like 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't have to worry about counting these passes. Your machine counts down the shots for you till it gets to 0 based on the information we've input. So good. Then we've got our BBL component. With the BBL, you'll input the Fitzpatrick skin type that you need to work on and the treatment specifically that you want to do. So I do want to point out, yes, we can work on a Fitzpatrick skin type 6, but I do need a good reason for you to be doing BBL on that client. So when it comes to pigmentation, which is usually going to be the situation, I need to have a good contrast of color for this to truly be beautiful and beneficial and deliver good results. If I have a choice, and I do, I have a Pico laser and I have this one, I am going to opt for my Pico if I'm working on a dark Fitzpatrick skin type and pigmentation. The reason being that works with shockwave technology. So it's very little heat involved. And it's so fast, the impact is so fast that it shatters the pigmentation before the surrounding tissue, and everyone can become all rowdy and the trauma is minimized. But the impact is huge. Where my pulse duration with the BBL is slower, which means that the heat will linger for a little bit longer, allowing more time for me to stimulate other cells. So long story short, it does treat Fitzpatrick skin type 6 successfully, but again, when we do our training, I'm going to ask you what the reason is for us choosing this route for this client, and then we'll see that it is in fact the best case scenario. So you'll select your Fitzpatrick skin type, and then you'll select what you want to do: pigmentation therapy, acne, vascular therapy. You will again make observations on the client's skin, and then based on that, you will input a certain filter. This literally filters the wavelength into the skin, which will then target a very specific chromophore. So mainly that's going to be melanin, hemoglobin, and porphyrin. So my lowest number, in my filter would be my 480. That's going to be my porphyrin filter. That's going to target acne. That's going to kill the P. acne causing bacteria. Very successful. And that's going to be quite a quick treatment, very epidermal. Sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Then we've got our 530 wavelength, which is in my machine right now, and that's going to be more for my brown spots, my epidermal pigmentation, freckles, sun damage, etc. That pigmentation is incredibly successful with that filter. but I might be looking at someone's skin and realize that there's a little bit of red pigmentation and brown, in which case my 590 filter works really well because there's a hemoglobin element as well as the brown pigment element. And obviously you can also use multiple filters in any session. But so this is now starting to target the hemoglobin, and then my next filter, which is 640, is definitely my hemoglobin filter, my deeper rooted. I've got a video, actually, I'll add a link, where I'm going through the filters and the depths of those filters, how deep they're going. But then I've got my more like my inflammatory conditions, my rosacea, the deeper inflammation that we want to target. Also, the higher the number, like the 640, 690, the safer it's going to be on darker Fitzpatrick skin types. And the reason being is because it's doing less on the epidermal areas, less heat distribution there, and more deeper rooted distribution, really targeting very specific concerns. My highest filter, 690, we use for anti-aging, and it works incredibly well. It was traditionally designed more for your hair removal, but we don't do hair removal with the BBL. Why would you when you have a diode? Nothing can compare to a four-wavelength diode when it comes to success with hair removal, and it's pain-free and it's fast. So yes, I love this machine. It's incredibly easy to use. It treats such a big multitude of concerns. And like I said, I've made my investment back again and again and again and again. So it definitely is something I would recommend to any beauty or medical or aesthetics practice that has the funds to invest in a machine like this.